Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2002, booking our way up to the road to WrestleMania. Got to make a pit stop at No Way Out first, but before we can get to any of that, we got to get through Sunday Night Heat. And let me tell you guys, this heat has been a son of a bitch just to get to. Boy, do I got a story to tell you guys. For those of you who don't know, I had to go back and rebook the Royal Rumble, rebook Monday Night Raw, and Thursday Night Nitro because my dumbass accidentally, and yes, believe it or not, it happens, accidentally hit the game recovery button, and then I must have just been in a rush, must have been really high, must have been really tired. One of those as a combination. I must have just been in a rush and clicked yes instead of reading what I was doing. And that set me back on a game recovery. And as I went to go book this episode of Sunday Night Heat, I realized I was on the Royal Rumble. So for the past couple of days, I've been on Twitch streaming me rebook these shows. And I will go ahead and show you guys how those shows did after we get past Heat. But son of a bitch, this took me a minute to get by. So let's go ahead and run the show, shall we? We do have a pre-show match, which honestly does pretty good. 56 C-. Not too bad at all. Subpar wrestling and little heat to this matchup. Funaki of the Head Chop fame goes over our developmental star Kaz Hayashi in 6 minutes 44 seconds with the Fisherman Buster. Kaz Hayashi had a 47 in-ring performance to Funaki's 58 in-ring performance. And although you guys may not be able to see the chat, I am still streaming at this time. And this was made by one of our viewers, Soja, who is part of the OMG Fire Pro League. He is actually the representative of the world champion, Kurt Angle. So he helped me make this matchup here. And you know what? Good job, Soja. 56 C-. Not a bad match at all. Funaki also improving in performance skills. So our opening match of the pre-show, or not the pre-show, but our opening match of the show, Sunday Night Heat, does worse than Soja's match, so apparently Soja's a better booker than me. I should just hand my channel over to him. Either way, we have terrible wrestling in here and non-existent crowd heat. Rikishi goes over Ken Anderson, better known as Mr. Anderson, or Kennedy, after 5 minutes 46 seconds with the rump shaker. Poor way to start the show, which it's a shame. I was mostly doing this to test out how Anderson is. He got a in-ring performance of a 19, so safe to say someone is not ready. Rikishi, on the other hand, with that 62, also improving in technical. How? You're in the ring with Anderson and you improve in technical? Whatever. We then jump into a 55 C- directly after this matchup. After picking up the win, Scotty 2 Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay join Rikishi in the ring. They pull out the shades and they go to put them on Rikishi's face. Once they place him on Rikishi's face, the music starts to hit, and we got Too Cool. They're getting down with it. They're starting to dance a little bit, but it doesn't go on for too long because the music of the Boogie Nights hits, and out comes Disco Inferno and Das Wunderkid, Alex Wright, and Disco comes out and he says, "All right, cut that crap off now. You two really pulled a quick one last week, didn't you? Having this fat tub of lard aid you in beating us? But you know what? Really, I guess I should have expected that from some hip-hop thugs." And that's when Grandmaster Sexay takes the mic and he goes, "You know, I don't know why you're complaining. You're the one who picked a fight with Too Cool. And last I checked, the Big Quiche is way too cool. But you know what, Disco? I say next week, let's squash this beef once and for all. Let's have a dance battle. Your crew versus my crew." And then that's when Disco, kind of taken aback by that, he goes, Oh, you want to settle this on the floor? He wants to settle this on the floor. You hear that, Das Wonder Kid? You know what? You three goons are going down. Next week, you're on. And it's confirmed next week on Sunday Night Heat. Dance battle, nerds and geeks. Too Cool versus the Boogie Nights. That'll be fun. Also, Rikishi improving in acting. All good stuff. That leads us into a 69 C+ rating here as Josh Matthews is backstage with Val Venus. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Matthews here, and joining me now is the man who ditched the right to censor last week, Val Venus. Val enters the shot, and he immediately starts talking. He says, "And Josh, let me tell you just how good it feels to finally be free from the right to censor. I mean, you're constantly 24/7 acting like a total asshole, telling people how to live their lives while sucking all the fun out of your own life. It's been a living hell being a part of that group, Josh, and I'm just happy to be out." And then that's when Josh looks at Val Venus. He says, "Well, now that you're out of the right to censor, will we see the old Val Venus make a return?" And then we see Val Venus. He kind of laughs, does a little bit of a chuckle, you know, the "Well, Josh, there's no old or new Val Venus. There's just Val Venus. And speaking," and that's when he walks over to a fine old lady, which turns out to be Stacy Keibler, we'll find out. And he says, "Hello there, beautiful. I hope you're not busy tonight, because now you got plans with Val." But that's when Chuck Palumbo comes walking up behind him. He taps him on the shoulder and he says, "The hell's your problem?" And you got Val sitting there like, what do you mean, what the hell's my problem? I don't have a problem. Do you have a problem? And then Chuck's like, "Oh, you don't have a problem? Well, you do now. I'll see you in the ring tonight." And then he, says, "Come on, Stacy," or whatever, and him and Stacy walk off while Val just kind of sits there like, "Me and my big mouth," or some shit like that. Stacy Keibler came across well. Chuck Palumbo looked good. All in all, good stuff. We then go, oh, buddy! This did not do good. Not do good at all. This completely, ruined... Okay, for one, it was jobbers on the main show. That's my bad. But this kind of ruined my plan, to be honest. I had a bit of a plan here, but we're going to have to rechange this around, because this did not go good. So apparently Spike Dudley and Hardcore Holly are a very poor combination as a manager unit. Oh, no. Hold on. Let me go to the next segment here. Oh, great. I think I fucked up anyway, so we're going to have to go back. This completely took me out of my recording zone. So we are going to have to go back because I did mess up. Forgot to take a certain angle and put it in the right place. So here we go. Hold on. We'll move that down. Let's quickly get through this real quick. 54 C- for the pre-show match still. Funaki still improving. 46 D. I think this actually did better. Rikishi's improving in technical. 56 C- for the angle here. Rikishi improving in acting. 67 C+ here. Still good. Alright, now we go into this, which will probably still be craptastic, but we'll see how it goes. So this is before the match. Before the match began, it was supposed to be Hardcore and Crash Holly both out in the ring. Crash Holly has now made his re-debut from being out in rehab. And, they're announced that, it'll be the Haas brothers versus the Holly brothers, or Harley family. And then Hardcore Holly then takes the mic and proceeds to go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now hold up a minute. You two are facing the Holly family tonight, but you won't be facing me. Allow me to introduce you to the newest member of the Hardcore family. Our new adopted cousin, Spike Dudley Holly." And then out comes Spike Dudley Holly, who makes his, re-debut, now as a Holly boy. Crash apparently not suited to his gimmick. And then we go to the match, which still does horrible, because they're jobbers. I'm not going to change out my mistakes. I'm just going to change out the fact that I moved the angle in the wrong place. This did a 15 F+ rating. Lovely. Abysmal match. The team of Spike and Crash Holly go over the Haas brothers when Spike defeats Russ Haas with the acid drop after Hardcore Holly interfered. So as I mentioned before, Spike and Hardcore Holly are not a good manager partnership, whatever you want to call that. We already know Crash is not suited to his gimmick. Apparently he and Hardcore have a good manager chemistry. But Spike Dudley and Crash Holly, zero chemistry as tag team partners. Okay. This is jobbers, of course. And, yeah. Crash Holly with a 39, Spike Dudley with a 37, Russ with a 32, and Charlie Haas with a 31. Crash is also improving in performance, so I probably should have increased their booking as well. But we know not to put them as a team anymore. Also, let's see. Crash Holly not drunk this time around, so I guess that's good. And then we go to This Week in the WWF, which sees, just them going over the basic segments. We go over The Rock and The Undertaker and Kurt Angle, them whole Rock and Angle feeling there should be the #1 contenders to the title. And then we go to Benoit, Booker T, Flair, Sting, and Booker T segments on Nitro as well. Oh, got the crowd interested. Thank you, guys. And then our main event of the night, which gets a 73 B- rating here. We have a decent match. Chuck Palumbo going over Val Venus in 9 minutes, 38 seconds with the Torture X submission hold. Chuck with a 76 to Val's 53. Val's improving in performance, and Chuck is improving in performance. And then we end off the night with a 53 C- as the Right 2 Censors music hits. Apparently, I did not put Val Venus in this segment. Right 2 Censors music hits, and out they come. Richard proceeds to take the mic, and he says, "You see what happens? What happens when you lead a life of sin like Val here? You know, I tried to help Val, but your addiction is too strong for me to expel. You haven't even been out of the Right 2 Censor for a week, and here you are laying on your back because of a female. And not in a good way either. I told you before, Val, that I could save your career if you joined me. But now I'm going to ruin your career." And then that's when the music goes off, and that ends off the show. Apparently Goodfather's gimmick is getting stale as well. Might have to change him from the Right 2 Censor here soon. 68 C+ for the show altogether. Not too shabby if I say so myself, especially for a Sunday Night Heat. Although that really sucks for Crash and what's his name? So I promised Soja here that I would check to see if Pac was in the save yet. Now I don't see him as Pac. It's TEW. So I don't know if he's in the save yet. They wouldn't put him in as like Neville or anything yet. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's not. That's gonna be my guess. Oh, we got, what's this here? Justice Payne, 3PW, making an offer. Ignore that. Crash Holly has poor in-ring psychology. This kid is probably not worth keeping around, says Jim Cornette. Well, you might not be wrong. Although I am going to go ahead and change Spike Dudley's name to Spike Dudley Holly. Although some people want me, or Soja mainly wants me to change it to Spike Holly. But I don't know, I feel like it's kind of rude to ignore the fact that he is also a Dudley. But he has no chemistry with Hardcore, so take that off. Okay. So we got that going for that. We got to check out The World. Here we go. So apparently Headhunter had a rant on AAA. Made a brief but highly charged appearance on a local late-night radio show and proceeded to rip into the company for, amongst other things, late payments, poor backstage conditions, and broken promises. Pretty good for Heat. HWA Wrestling was the best show of the night, with OVW being second and NWA surprisingly being last. We already knew about Nosawa being on the rise, so let's check out NWA Wildside Wrestling before we move on to the other shows. So NWA got a solid 45D rating this week. We had the open up the night with TNT going over the Boogaloo Crew. The 39D-. TNT consists of Todd Sexton and Tony Santorelli. Boogaloo Crew, of course, is Scotty Red and JC Daz. We then move on to the NWA Georgia Junior Heavyweight Championship match, which got a 51D+ rating. Onyx going over the guy who looks like Kenny Omega, but is really Cassidy O'Reilly, and Lazarus to retain the Georgia Heavyweight or Junior Heavyweight Championship. We then go backstage to a brawl between Road Dogg, Jesse James, Colt Cabana, and Sean O'Haire, the NWA World Champion, which got a 52D+. And then we move on to an actual NWA Wildside Heavyweight Championship matchup with a 59 solid C rating here. Sean O'Haire going over Caprice Coleman to retain the NWA Wildside Heavyweight title. Stream will be probably ending here soon, to be honest. And then we finally end off the night with a 47 solid D rating here. The team of David Flair, Adam Jacobs, which I believe is you, correct? And Jimmy Rave, which is you, go over the team of Ernest, the Cat Miller, Carlito Cool, and Road Dogg Jesse James. So that's good stuff. And we go to Ohio Valley Wrestling here, which got a 46 solid D rating here. Opening up the night with the OVW Women's Championship. 33 E+ rating, better than that tag match we just had on Heat. Nikita retaining her championship against Taylor Mathney. Then we go to the OVW Hardcore Championship. 39 D-. John Cena defeating Mr. Black to retain the Hardcore Championship. We then go backstage to a brawl between Fit Finlay and Randy Orton, which got a 50 D+ rating. Rob Conway going over Nick Dinsmore with a 51 D+ rating. Former tag team partners going over a championship. And then finally in the main event, Flash Flanagan going over Bull Buchanan with a 46 solid D rating to retain his OVW Heavyweight Championship. And then finally we go to HWA Wrestling, which had the highest rating of the week. 48 D+ for the young men here. Opening up the night with a 32 E+ rating. BJ Whitmer going over Johnny the Bull. Then we have ourselves a Cruiserweight Championship match with a 46 solid D. Yang going over Unibrow Matt Striker, not the teacher. Then we have a 43 solid D. The Island Boys, Fat 2, and then Chemo, going over the team of D'Lo Brown and Corporal Cajun. And then finally in the main event with a solid 50 D+ rating here, Shannon Moore retaining his championship, the HWA Heavyweight Championship, against former 3-count partner Evan Courageous. I bet that match was better than the game gave it credit for, to be honest. So we will, of course, move on until we get to at least Monday Night Raw, or until a decision comes up that I don't want to show you guys. Oh, we disconnected from OBS apparently. It should hopefully reconnect back up, I hope. It should. We're going to do this real quick. Hold on. I think we're good. Anyway, this is going to be the end of this video anyway, because we do have a decision to await, and I am not going to show you guys a decision. So either way, Nitro got a 45.57 rating. Oh, that's something I got to show you guys, the changes to the shows. Ooh, HWA extending their deal. They're going to be shown on WAPA TV. Good for them. Yes, we know about Nosawa. They're really pushing Nosawa. We got to hire that guy. Alright, so before we move on, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the changes to the shows. Where's match history? Show history, that's what I'm looking for. Alright, so the Royal Rumble got an 86 B+ compared to whatever it got in the actual video. Few changes of notes here. We can, of course, everything is pretty much the exact same. Just look at the ratings if you want. Go through them slowly with you. But the few things that really we changed up here, or not really changed up, but that got really changed up, I should say, that of our importance, is the Taker versus Rock match did way better than it did in the YouTube video. It got a 95 A-star rating compared to like the B+ it got. Benoit and Angle got a 98 instead of having a 99 A-star, so there's that. Only 1 point difference. I figured it wasn't really worth, going back and forth. Apparently I don't have internet access, so I don't think we're streaming still. I'll be surprised if we are. I guess the internet went down on me or something. Who knows? And then finally, the Royal Rumble got a solid 80 rating. I don't remember what it got in the video. But Sting's Vigilante gimmick did better in this than in the YouTube video. It got a very good rating compared to an above average. Here is the Monday Night Raw ratings. Again, everything the exact same. You can go ahead and look it over, see if any of the ratings did different. There were some that did a lot better. I think I made a discovery that Jonathan Coachman may be dragging down ratings instead of Michael Cole, because I messed up here and I kind of reversed it. I had Jonathan Coachman interview Triple H in the video, where I had Michael Cole interview Triple H tonight. Whereas in this one, Jonathan Coachman interviewed The Rock, and Michael Cole interviewed Rock last week's, or in the video. So it's interesting to see how Michael Cole with Triple H did better than Jonathan Coachman with Triple H, and Michael Cole and The Rock did better than Jonathan Coachman and The Rock, despite neither being rated. So That's really the only major difference or thing that I discovered here on Monday Night Raw. And there you have that. The main event was still disappointing. And then Nitro had a pretty big difference, to be completely honest with you. Because at the Royal Rumble, Booker T apparently became down with a stomach infection. Now, I didn't think the stomach infection would keep him out of action, but it did. He'll be back in action for next week, but he missed this week's of action. And it kind of sucked because Booker T was main focal point of Nitro this week. He was in the friggin' main event, for Christ's sakes. So it definitely sucked because he wasn't able to be there for the show. With that being said, we did work around it. I can go ahead and show you guys off. I played it off despite him not being there, just pretty much put him in every angle and rated him on overness. So despite not being there, his overness helped out some angles. It wasn't until we got to the main event of the night, which he was supposed to team with Booker T, that we changed it up. So instead of him teaming with Booker T, we had Benoit and Flair attack Booker backstage instead of them having a promo together, and then that led to a handicap match, which surprisingly did better than the tag team match, to my surprise. Benoit and Flair going over DDP, and then we announced, the Sting and Flair thing. So not much changed. That's just really much of the ratings. Either way, though, that is going to be the end of this video. It's a shame that the stream crashed pretty much towards the end there, but I guess shit happens. Either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you have not already. And as always, my name has been OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. I will see you guys for Monday Night Raw. So until then, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. So until then, see you later.